Welcome back, fellow food geeks. It's good to have you back. Today we're making sandwich bread, and I am going to not only show you a lot of options in the same, I am going to show you ways to make it vegan as well. It is a soft bread and it is really yummy because you're making it at home, so it's full of goodness. It's easy to make, is ready very soon. It's just the waiting time, which is the fermentation process or the proofing process. So I hope you give it a try because I have two versions, all-purpose flour and whole wheat flour here. So let's quickly get started. Here I have all-purpose flour, like I said, or wheat flour. You can take any. I have 3 cups and you are going to add 1 teaspoon of salt to it and mix it well. Now we'll keep this aside and we'll take 1 1/4 cup of warm water. Now if you don't want to use water, you can use milk. If you are vegan, you can use almond milk, soy milk also. Water also works just fine. And to this we are going to add 1 1/2 teaspoons of sugar. Now if you don't like sugar, you can go ahead and add honey. That too is fine. But if you're vegan, sugar is the better option. Both are fine actually. Now to this mixture, we are going to add 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast and mix it. We are going to leave it for blooming for around 5 minutes and it's going to foam up, which means that its yeast is active and fine and can be used. Now we're going to knead a dough with this yeast. To this first, I'm going to add around 3 to 4 teaspoons of olive oil. Now you can also add butter. If you're vegan, you can add olive oil. If you're not vegan, you can add butter. If you don't like olive oil, you can also add coconut oil. It's really up to you. And we're going to knead a soft dough using this water. You may have to add 1 to 2 teaspoons of water more or remove the same depending on the environment you're in. If there's more humidity where you are, you can get away with maybe just 1 1/4 cup. If there is less humidity, it's a dry place where you live, please add little water at a time to knead a soft dough. And if you feel the need, you can also take the help of a little bit of oil to knead the dough. Now this dough is ready and we are going to let it rest. I'm going to take a bowl, any sort of a container would do, and I'm going to put some olive oil in it to grease it so that it doesn't stick to the sides, the dough. And after greasing it, I'm going to put my ball of dough in it to rest. I'll cover it and keep. Right now I'm covering with this, but I'll change to a plate. So around 1 hour is how much we plan to keep. We need this to double in size. It can take as less as 40 minutes if you live in a warm climate, and it can go up to 1 1/2 hours if you live in a cold climate. We are going to knock back the dough, remove the air and knead it again. Now this is a sticky dough, so please put some flour on the surface. Like I said, if 1 1/4 cup does not make your dough sticky, please go ahead and add a little more water. It also depends on the kind of flour you're using. Wheat flour requires a little more water. For wheat flour, you can go up as high as 1 1/2 cups. So you see it's sticking to my hand. So either I'll take dry flour or I'll take a little oil. You can choose any method which you are comfortable with just to help it. But we're not going to use too much of dry flour because that is definitely going to make our loaf dry otherwise. We want a soft crumb and we're going to knead it for approximately 2 minutes. So I earlier had kneaded for around 8 minutes and this is 2 minutes. So a total of 10 minutes of kneading time. Please do not go any less than 8 minutes in the first knead. It's very important. And now this loaf is ready. So I'll take a bread pan, a bread tin, loaf, whatever you may call it, loaf tin, and I'm going to grease it well. And either I'm going to you can put some semolina or you can put some cornmeal. This is to help the loaf release itself easily at the end of baking. So I'm going to put this rolled up dough in this loaf tin, and a few things I'd like you to keep in mind. Roll like so. This makes it easy and more uniform. And when you tuck in the dough, please press nicely so that it's uniform, so that it has even rising. And also when you are going to keep it for the second rise, please do not cover with any kitchen towel or flat surface because that will not let the loaf expand. So I'm using this big pan, this big pot I'm using so that the loaf can expand easily. We need that space for it to expand. So that's why I'm using this. And now it's been another 40 minutes and this is ready to go in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees centigrade. But before that, I have to brush it with a little milk. Now I can't find my brush, so I've just taken a clean tissue, that is a kitchen towel tissue, and I am going to brush milk on it and bake it. Now it takes approximately half an hour, but please adjust according to your oven. And now we have to let it cool for 1.5 hours. I have let it cool. This is after 1.5 hours. Please let it cool minimum for 1.5 hours. The smell will make you, tear into it, but please wait. It's important that you wait. Otherwise, the crumb, which such a nice texture the bread has, it's going to go all soggy and together. You have to wait so that you can see the fine, spongy crumb. Do you see this loaf? I know the shape is a little odd because my loaf tin was very small, but the bread is delicious. Let me cut a piece for you, and this is a side piece, so this is quite crusty, but even that will be very soft. And if you were cutting this from just a hot loaf, then this would not have the fine crumb we needed to have. It's lovely and it's really soft. So do go ahead, try, make this bread. Let me know how it turned in the comment section, how it turned out. Do give this a like if you enjoyed the recipe. You can use it to make sandwiches. You want to change the shape, don't make a sandwich bread. You can also make any other shape that you desire. It can also be used for freestanding loaves. Now I have explained all the options to you. There's such a lot of variety you can do while baking this. So I hope you give this a try. Like I said, you enjoy it with this warm fresh bread with butter and jam. And do come back because there is a whole lot of goodness waiting for you. Exactly where this came from. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.